I think Matt Mitrione is a pretty complicated person, entity, and situation. I think a lot. I am a serial thinker. I'm the son of a psychiatrist. I have the amazing ability to skull fuck anything into pieces. I think that I get lost in that. I think I cause a lot of my own stress because I analyze so much so often. But I think that's actually one of the really ironic things about my entrance song, Simple Man, is that and I always, every time I hear it, it reminds myself to stop being so complicated. It's okay to be a simple creature at times. Think about just a couple things that are that pressing and that relevant at the time, and then everything else can go by the wayside. And that's why I love my entrance song so much. That's why I sing it. That's why I feel that song when I walk out to get ready to scrap. I've got a pretty complicated life. I have 3 kids, and currently I'm married. I'm separated. I've got a wife that absolutely despised my career choices. Felt like I had to be a celebrity. Couldn't be a regular person. That's why. And when I didn't do well at corporate America, it's because I had too big of an ego and I couldn't compromise. And she said I failed as a husband and a father because I couldn't keep a regular job and I had to be a celebrity. And that when I wanted to go play football again, that was me being a glory hound and being irresponsible. And she hated it. And so from that point on, we started a sports nutrition company, and there was a lot of stress in there, and so from that, it's kind of carried over, and it's never really left. And so she has been a pretty separate part of my life since 2009 when I went on The Ultimate Fighter. And the guilt that I have for having to leave my children for a long period of time to go train at some place that's not my home, for 4 months at a time to get ready for fights, I have a lot of guilt about that. I feel bad that I leave my children, and I feel bad that I leave her with the responsibility of raising them pretty much on their own while I'm away. And it's stressful. I talk to guys like Rashad Evans and people that have been in there that have kids and that have been in the mix and been highly successful. And it sucks, but the answer is always the same. It's that, look, dude, you're an athlete right now, and this is your small window. You have to be selfish. Be selfish. Focus on yourself and let it happen. Because if you don't, you're always going to get in your own way, and things are always going to come up that are going to be more important. And I think that's the one thing I struggle with the most, is accepting the fact that I'm going to have to see my kids, 3 of them, 1 weekend a month for the next 4 or 5 months. And that's the way it's going to have to be. Like, more than a girl can come and go, fuck a bitch, dude. Like, my children are my children. My children are going to love me for the rest of my life, for the rest of their lives, because they're going to see that I do everything for them. And, like, nobody can ever take that away. Like, no, my kids will always know how much I love and appreciate them. Fuck a bitch. I am horribly afraid of failure. I always worry so much about disappointing my parents, my children. I worry about that a tremendous amount. I'm driven by the fear of failure. The only thing I could ever tell my children is that those who succeed, they succeed because they weren't afraid to fail. I've never been afraid to take a chance because I always see the potential in the chance I take. And I think that a lot of times there's so many people that live their life wishing that they had done this or done that, or taken the opportunity to do this or do that, and they let it go by, and it sticks with them for the rest of their lives. And I don't ever want my children to be that person. I'm not that person. And I understand that it causes strife in my own personal life because I am not that person, but I don't ever want to be at a point where, like, I wonder what my life would have been if I had done this. And I always want to try it out, and I hope my kids learn that.
What fight really, really challenged you emotionally, physically, spiritually, gave you that gut check of like, fuck?
Yeah, honestly, it was my only loss. That's the one that will stick with me forever. It was my fight with Czech Congo. I was puzzled. Mentally, I was completely puzzled. I didn't know how to fight him. I never had to practice, never did practice somebody not engaging with me, somebody that didn't want to go tit for tat and see how it worked. Czech just kept backing up and bailing out and putting his back up against the wall, and I didn't know how to fight that. I didn't prepare right. I had a shit ton of things going on in my life. That's when I was trying to get divorced from from my wife, and I was having a lot of stress, and I was here and then starting the gym up, and it was just a shitty situation. I didn't prepare right. And in the middle of the fight, I knew it. And that's why I was so disappointed. And once I lost a fight, or like once the fight was over, and I didn't know how to engage, I was like, it just sucked. It was the worst, boring fight I could ever imagine being in. And I wish I could erase it from everybody in the world's memory. And I wish I could pay the people back for my 15 minutes of that pay-per-view. I wish I had enough money to do that, because I would do it. I feel guilty for having had such a poor fight. But that shit will never happen again. If I could step out of the box and look at myself and give myself advice, I would tell myself to stay focused. You're too damn good not to. And you'd be robbing the viewing public and yourself one hell of a ride. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and do you. I'm going to get that piece of gold probably in about 18 months. So by the end of 2013, I'm going to have that strap, and I'm going to be holding on to it for a while. I don't think that there's very many people in the world that can bang with me as far as stand-up wise, can hang with me athletically. Mentally, I'm as stubborn as they come, and I don't fail. I may lose along the way, but that's bound to happen, but I don't fail. And I feel that I was supposed to be a second-round draft pick in the NFL, and I got injured, and I never got to have my time because my body kind of quit on me. And I feel that this is my second opportunity to have my time and to make the money that my children will need in order to live a good life. And I can retire early and spend the rest of my life with my kids.
Is there any one of your peers that really impresses you?
The person I respect the most in the UFC history is my mentor, Chris Lytle. Chris Lytle's had X amount of fights in his life, 50, 80 fights. He's never been finished, he's never been submitted, never been knocked out. He comes to fight every single time he fights. He gets out there and scraps. He's great on the ground. He's a hell of a scrapper standing up. He's fought some of the best in the world. And that's my mentor. And if I can fight anything the way he does and compete the way he does, then my career will be great. I want to be the UFC champ because that shows me that I was never here to be an also-ran. I was here to be a champ. I always knew I was here to be a champ. And I feel like my platform is really unique. I feel that my life experiences and everything that brought me to the point I'm at, and that will bring me to the point I'm at once I get that strap around my waist, I feel that I can share so much and I can affect so many lives, and I feel that that's something that I was always supposed to do. And football didn't get my opportunity. Injury ruined that career, or maybe that's what was supposed to happen and this is where I was supposed to be. But whatever it is, I feel like my experiences can really help and mold a lot of people that have at a hard point in their lives.